Okay, mamas, I do suggest you watching the first portion of this so that you understand what I am explaining, so that you can learn from this. And then as you move forward, maybe you want to do this again, you can just fast forward to the actual workout portion of this, so that you don't have to watch this every single time. So basically what I want to do is, like I just said, walk you through what all goes on, not even just what all goes on with our pelvic floor during pregnancy, but what all we should be doing with our pelvic floor, okay? Y'all know that we're working on strengthening it. You know that we're working on, towards the end, releasing it. And y'all know that we have to be able to do both. In order to strengthen a muscle, you gotta be able to release it / relax it too, right? And that's not just for our pelvic floor. That's for everything. We can't always walk around with our muscles contracted, okay? There are 3 main things, and I'm gonna break them down and then create a workout based off of these 3 things, okay? So, our pelvic floor doesn't just need to be strengthened. Like I just said, it's gotta learn to be relaxed as well. But on top of that, excuse me, we also need hip mobility and glute strengthening and adductor strengthening. And all of those things go directly in hand with our pelvic floor, okay? So yes, we've got an awesome pelvic floor strength workout. Yes, we've got the pelvic floor 101, which is, closer to the end of pregnancy and working on that release work. But there's more than just that. So the first thing, there's kind of 3 things that make up what all we need to be doing with our pelvic floor. First one is hip mobility. This is all written below, by the way, if you want to skip through this. But hip mobility is the first thing. Going to read so I don't miss anything. Hip mobility is great for adding length to your pelvic floor because we don't need it contracted and short the whole time, right? We need it to be long, especially closer to our due date. So hip mobility is great for adding length to your pelvic floor. We should be including both internal and external rotational stretches to balance out the entire pelvis, meaning basically this and this, okay? This helps to maintain range of motion, which can help with baby's movement in the pelvis during labor, which hello, we would love that, right? We don't want baby getting stuck in our pelvis. So we need hip mobility to literally help our baby, I won't do that again, but help our baby get out. So super important for hip mobility. And then second thing, single leg exercises, specifically for pelvic floor strength though, okay, or specifically for pelvic floor. I haven't really touched on this. Single leg exercises for pelvic floor strength, okay? So this is also known as accessory work, which can play a huge role in the overall function of our pelvic floor, which you may not be surprised by that because I always talk about unilateral work directly strengthening our core, and y'all know our core and our pelvic floor are connected. So this may not be a surprise to you, but single leg exercises for pelvic floor strength. Increased ligament laxity during pregnancy from relaxin, the hormone, can cause instability of the pelvic joints. So we want to keep these muscles strong, including exercises, single leg exercises, that focus on strengthening the muscles that support and cross the pelvis from both from and back. Sorry, messed up my words. So glutes, core, adductors, back, and pelvic floor can help keep us pain-free and feeling strong. Third thing is incorporating it in a cool down, which could also be stretch and release work, some of the yoga routines in this program. So not literally a cool down, but more thinking of cooling down, right? This is mostly breath work to relax your pelvic floor, which again, probably isn't a surprise to you. We want our pelvic floor to work through its full range of motion, meaning, like I've said 5 times now, it needs to be strong, but it also needs to be able to relax. So that's my spiel. And truth be told, you may be like, Macy, you've explained all this. I've gathered all this. I'm not really surprised. But in light of kind of piecing this together as a whole and seeing what all our pelvic floor needs to be able to do as a package, not just strength, not just mobility, not just relaxing. everything that our pelvic floor needs to do. Hip mobility, single leg exercises, cool down, or we'll call it breath work, okay? So that's kind of the spiel of the overall encompassing what we work on with our pelvic floor, what we should be working on with our pelvic floor. So now what I'm gonna do is take you through a few exercises of each one of each category. Excuse me, I'm getting over a thing. And I'm gonna do this kind of in a workout format, but what I want you to gain from this video is kind of how to piece together a pelvic floor workout, okay? So first things first, we're gonna go through hip mobility, all right? So 3 exercises, and remember hip mobility is great for adding length to our pelvic floor. And we need to be including internal and external rotational stretches, so we will be doing both of those. You will need a band for this one, for one of the moves. And y'all, really, it's not even really a workout. I'm just taking you through some of these moves so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about and how to incorporate all 3 of these categories for your pelvic floor. So first thing is 90-90 hip rotation, okay? So what you're gonna be doing is both of your knees are at, let me adjust my camera. Actually, I'm gonna leave it because I'll be standing up for some things. Both of your knees are as close to 90 degrees as you can get, okay? So you're going to press up, switch, rotate. Press up, switch, rotate, okay? Good stuff. For this, honestly, I would say everybody's gonna want something different, just depending on how you feel, how mobile you already are, how big your belly is, how much time you have, etc., etc. I would say either go for 30 seconds or do 10 reps, okay? And you can decide whether you want to do 2 or 3 sets. That's totally up to you, but that's your first move. Some days that may feel really good and you want to do 3 sets. Some days you may feel super tight, which probably means you need to do 3 sets. But go through that great exercise throughout your entire pregnancy. Second one is the one you need your band for. Put your band right above your knees. This is a child's pose with internal rotation, okay? So what we will be doing is, you can see my knees. So we're going to internally rotate, okay? So our hips are internally rotating, our feet are rotating out, okay? So internal rotation right here, and then you're gonna shift back into child's pose as far as you can with your belly, okay? Bring them back. Internally rotate, bring them back. I'd say 5 reps, probably like 3 sets of 5, okay? I'll write all this down. But this right here is that internal rotation that we do need, okay? So there's my 5th one. Listen, y'all, my baby sits so dang low, but my range of motion is about 1 inch on that. And then the final move that I want to show y'all is for external rotation. So you can use a weight for this if you would like. For the fact that this isn't an actual workout, not going to. But you can grab a weight, okay? You're going to kneel right here. If you're holding a weight, it'll be right here. And you're going to right here like this, okay? So you're twisting towards the bent knee that's up, okay? Right here. I'd say 5 to 10 reps. Each leg, as much range of motion as you can get without totally torquing your upper body, okay? Again, add a weight if you want. If you want to add a weight, you can even make it a core. Well, it is a core and pelvic floor exercise. If you want to add a weight, really focus on exhaling and hugging your baby, inhaling back. Right there like that. So exhale. There's 3, 4, and 5. Okay, great job. So those are 3 exercises that are great for hip mobility. Another great one, I'll just show you while we're here, is this right here, okay? Great exercise as long as you feel okay doing this while pregnant. It is obviously completely safe. Something that essentially, with hip mobility, essentially by the end of it, you want to feel like your hips are more mobile, okay? And remember, we want hip mobility during pregnancy because we want our baby to be able to make his or her way out when it's time for that to happen. All right, so second, I'm gonna go through single leg exercises. And remember, single leg exercises are for pelvic floor strength, okay? Y'all know how I feel about unilateral exercises. I love them when I'm not pregnant. I love them even more when I'm pregnant, okay? So the first one that I have us doing is single leg squats. So for this one, you will need something to sit on, okay? Whatever height is comfortable for you. It may be an up high coffee table, it may be your couch, a bench, whatever that is. Before you get started though, y'all know the drill. Hug your baby. You're going to take it down nice and slow. Inhale, exhale, okay? You should be able to feel enough connection with your pelvic floor that you really kind of feel that working, okay? I just did right there, and then after a few sets in, you're definitely going to. Again, I'm not doing this as a workout, I'm just showing you the exercises. You could do 3 sets of 5, you could do 3 sets of 10. Depends on what you've done previously or already that day. Depends on how you're feeling and all of that. And as you get further along in your pregnancy, if you need support, please use it. Single leg exercises get harder the more pregnant we get. So if you need something to hold on to, hug your baby, okay? Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Grab onto something for support if you need it, even if that's just doing it against the wall and holding on right there. You don't want to necessarily pull yourself up, but just having something as support is a great idea. So single leg squats is a great one. Another really good one is single leg bridge with a pull down. So you'll need a long band or cable machine for this. I did forget to say that. This may fall down on me, but this is exactly what it sounds like, okay? So you're going to drop it down on your side, y'all know this, and then roll over. So for this one, you're gonna do opposite arm and leg, okay? So if I'm doing a single leg bridge, I'm doing, left leg single leg bridge, I'm doing a right arm pull down, okay? Exhale, inhale. Okay, and then you'll switch. Remember, before you get started, you have a neutral pelvis and that core is engaged. Inhale, exhale, one more. Okay, oh, I could do that one forever. That one is very similar to one of our complex movements that is so good. It's a functional exercise. The squat with band row, or RDL with band row, okay? We've done those in several of the workouts. We squat and row, and every time we do that, it all just feels like it's working together, because if you're doing it correctly, it is. Same thing with this. This is just really gonna target your pelvic floor. Final exercise is a staggered rotation, a pal-off variation. Y'all know how I feel about this. So staggered stance, you are hugging that baby real tight, and then exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. I would say go for 3 sets of 10 each side, maybe 3 sets of 8. I'll write all these numbers down. But that's kind of how I would format that. Moving on, because y'all get single leg exercises. There's step ups, there's walking lunges, so many options, okay? Single leg hip thrust. Can't believe I didn't include that. Finally is a cool down, which is very self-explanatory. And like I said in the beginning of this workout, when I say cool down, I mean breath work. I may even tweak this to say breath work instead. So any exercise really that we do in any of the breath work, stretch and breath work workouts from each trimester is really great. The 2 that I'm showing you are 2 that you know and have done a lot prior to this program probably, but also in this program. Child's pose and a deep squat. Deep squat we've done in every single warm-up. So you're dropping it down nice and low. But what I want you to focus on when you're doing this for breath work / cool down is, remember, we are focusing on relaxing our pelvic floor. So when we do this as a warm-up in the workouts, I'm telling y'all to push your knees out and move around. For this, I want y'all to sink down into this. Close your eyes, feel this relax, your pelvic floor relax. If you can't, or if you don't know how to feel that, place a foam roller or something so that it sits, just, or a yoga block even, right here, so that you can ideally feel your pelvic floor come down. That's the goal of this exercise when we're doing it as a cool down, is to fully relax, okay? I naturally have an overactive pelvic floor, so when I'm doing this, I close my eyes. It takes me a good 10 seconds to get here and let that relax. It requires so many deep, intentional breaths. Ooh, he's kicking. So if it takes you a minute to get there and feel that, take the minute. Sit in that position until it's not uncomfortable anymore. Get comfy in that. Keep it loose. Feel this all relax, okay? Second one is child's pose. Depending on the size of your belly and your mobility, you may want to rest your forehead on something for support. So shift back, walk those hands forward. If your belly's touching the ground at this point, I think the only reason mine isn't is because he's so low. Then you are gonna want to rest your head against something just so that your belly doesn't touch the ground. But same thing with this, you're getting here until you feel your body fall. Just fall down into the ground, completely relax. Let yourself just in that position so that your pelvic floor is relaxed. Things that you want to check for if you do have an overactive pelvic floor like I do, make sure you aren't clenching your jaw during either of those exercises or any of these cool down exercises. If you're clenching your jaw, then your pelvic floor is tight, it is not relaxed. Don't chew gum during these because working your jaw is not gonna be able to let you relax. So think relaxed, super, super chill, deep, deep breaths. This is for breath work, okay? So no, that was not a workout. It was just a more, hopefully, complex breakdown, or combination, I should say, of what all goes into our pelvic floor, what all we need to be working on, what all we can be doing for our pelvic floor during, really before, but during our pregnancy, okay? So you can take this as a workout if you would like to. I have reps, suggested reps written in right below this workout, or right below this video. So if you wanna take this and roll with it as a workout, it's a really good one. Otherwise, lesson learned, now you know, or you can just pick and choose how you would like, but just a little bit more on pelvic floor, hip mobility, and all of that. Just all of it that goes with taking care of our pelvic floor. Okay, wrapping it up. Y'all are awesome. See you for the next one.